Thank you, Dr. Devamala Sahanisa and Sahanisa. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is the 1338th day of continuous webinar conducted by International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy. We welcome all of you to this session, and today our guest is Dr. SHITAL Shah. Let us begin the session with 1 minute silent prayer. Madam, your light is not perfect. We can't see your face because there is still so much darkness in your face. Oh, okay, little more. If possible, little more. The face is behind yours. The light is behind your face. That may be the reason. It is not. You are under shade. Okay, let us.
Now it's okay, sir?
It's a little more better than what. Okay, now it's improving. Okay. Let me introduce our guest of the day, Professor Dr. SHITAL Shah, and she is the HOD Department of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad Homeopathic Medical College, and she is a practitioner since last 25 years, and she has completed PhD in PCOD, MD in homeopathy, IACH PG in difficult cases from Greece. Dr. SHITAL Shah is a highly qualified and experienced homeopathy practitioner with a distinguished educational background. And as you know, she is a professor. She is has a teaching experience of 29 years and was was HOD and professor of homeopathy pharmacy at Ahmedabad Homeopathic Medical College. She has guided many undergraduate and postgraduate students. She is an examiner and a paper setter at Hema Chand Ali Homeopathic North Gujarat University. She is the selection committee of the professor selection in different colleges. Recognize her remarkable 25 experience journey of hard work, passion, and contribution. She has certified of appreciation and paid from Paul University. Her achievements underscores her committed to advancing the field of homeopathy and improving healthcare through research and practice. Mechanism of cure, how remedy acts, a new life era homeopathy journal. So many things are we need to say about this Dr. SHITAL Shah. Anyway, I'm going not elaborating all those things because lack of time. As a practitioner, with a comprehensive 29 years tenure in the field of homeopathy, she has treated more than 10,000 patients, and she has treated long-lasting, life-threatening diseases like female disorders, lifestyle disorders, autoimmune diseases, and so many. And with the impressive track record, she had successfully treated over 100 plus patients with PCOD in the last 2 years and currently operating a thriving PCOD wellness clinic. Why she is doing in acute homeopathy clinic. Acute homeopathy clinic, acute homeo clinic strives to provide comprehensive and personalized care with the focus of holistic healing. The clinic tailors treatment of individual needs, setting apart from other homeopathic clinic. And she is a health promoter. As a mentor, she is dedicated her effort to raising the awareness about people about the female health, emphasizing mental wellness as a key aspect. And today, Doctor will be discussing about understanding the psychology, temperament, and mental pathology of the medicine. So let us welcome our Professor SHITAL Shah to this session. Welcome, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Little more loud, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So today's lecture, or today I am here with the basic point of the homeopathic students as well as the practitioners, understanding can psychology, temperament, and pathology. Being a teacher for the last 30 years, I've experienced from the students that they always been impressed by the mental picture. Whenever the case comes, they are eager to write down all the points which has been given by the patient, especially mental symptoms. Sometimes when the case has been going on and the patient says that, oh, doctor, I'm very irritable. I'm very angry person. I don't want to trust another person. I'm very suspicious in nature. I like to talk very much. I'm very talkative person. So see, when the word comes that I'm very suspicious person, immediately the student who is taking a case reaches to the medicine that maybe is arsenic. Then when the patient comes and says that, oh, I'm very coward, that means I'm very incapable, I could not take the responsibility. Immediately the word comes in the mind that is lycopodium. So see, the rubrics, whenever the patient says, we considered it in a rubric form. We take it in a rubric form and we start to prescribe on the mental symptoms. Hahnemann sir was the first who had explained us to take a totality of the symptoms, and after the totality, we can treat the chronic disease by collecting, by evaluation, by analysis of the symptoms after doing a case. The Kent, a great follower of Dr. Hahnemann sir, he started to write down a book, Kent Materia Medica, and he had write down the symptoms from mind to the whole body. Now, in the preface, Dr. Kant has written that whatever the symptoms has been written in this Materia Medica, in the Kant Materia Medica, all are spoken by the patients. Sorry, all are spoken by the prover. Now, as we know that in the proving, we are diverting the vital force from its normal position. And as the vital force is deviated, the symptoms starts. Now, whatever be the symptoms appear in the proving, all are considered as a pathology. Either it is on an emotional plane, or on a mental plane, or on a physical plane. If the prover comes and says, I'm suffering from gaseous distension in an abdomen, I have, after the taking medicine, I have the constipation. So same way, if the prover speaks the symptoms on the physical plane, he also speaks the timidity of the lycopodium on the emotional plane, as well as cannot cope up and the lack of responsibility, all are the symptoms of the pathology, which has been written in a Kant Materia Medica. So ideally, as we are not prescribing medicine on the physical pathology, same way, we could not
No,
prescribe.
madam, the slides are not moving.
No, I'm not moving it. I'm just
Okay.
explaining and then I will go.
Okay.
So I'm not moving the slides. Okay. So that is the reason that, okay. So what we do, we considered the proving symptoms on a physical plane as a pathophysiology, but we are not considering the symptoms which is written on the mental plane as a pathology. Mostly the students as well as the initial practitioner makes mistake on prescribing on the mental pathology, and they find even a case as an unsuccessful. You have a good mental story and then also you are not able to search or not able to prescribe a homeopathic medicines. Then what are the mental symptoms? What do you mean by mental symptoms? Which has been given important by the Kant in the totality of the symptoms. So when you collect the symptoms in a case, there are three types of the mental symptoms. The first is temperament, second is personality, and the third is pathology. The all mental symptoms which is written in a Kant Materia Medica They are the mental pathology. On the mental pathology, you could not prescribe a medicine. Take an example, in an aurum mat or in a natrum mur, we have a symptom that the patient sits alone, weeps a lot, she is continuously weeping, withdraw herself, not talking with anyone. This is a symptom of a depression. It's a mental pathology. Suppose the patient is a Moxol. The pathology in the Cant Materia Medica, it is written as imbecility. Though you will see the patient is stupid. In the Beraita cup, mentally the patient is dull, sluggish. This is mental pathology. So see, mental pathology is only and only produced when the vital force is deranged. And we should not prescribe a medicine on the mental pathology. Then what is the main on which we can prescribe a medicine? That is personality and the temperament. There are Bailey Materia Medica has explained 100 medicines temperament. According to the temperament, a person lives with a certain personality. And if that patient suffers on the mental plane, then what type of the mental disease has been produced, that has been described in a pathology. Temperament is nothing but a person born with certain characteristics. Personality means it's like an overcoat. According to the situations, we have to live and we pass our day. As an example, in the morning we are happy, it's our birthday. We are very happy, we want to enjoy the day, we have started to enjoy the day, and suddenly the news comes, the death of the friend's mother. Now, even though we are happy, we have to change our mood and we have to become sad as we have to go to the funeral. So this is personality according to the situation, according to the moment, whatever the way we have to change. We are back from the funeral and then we can enjoy our birthday party. So this is the way we are changing the mood from happiness to sadness and from sadness to the happiness, or according to the situation, we are shifting from one mood to the another mood. According to the situations, we are changing our nature. We are very angry person at home, but when the boss says we are not speaking a single word, we are ready to accept. At that time, we are very calm. So we are changing the personality according to the situation. So we should not prescribe a medicine on the personality also, but we can prescribe the medicine on the basis of the temperament. So the mental picture, which has been given important by the Kant, is the temperament of each and every medicine. The temperament is fixed. Such type of the temperament person lives with the certain personalities that has also been written in the Materia Medica. And if the temperament person who is living with this personality and whatever the mental pathology the patient will suffer, that is also been described in the Kant Materia Medica. So students means it's not a difficulty to understand. We just want to read 3 Materia Medicas. We have to read Bailey Materia Medica and we have to understand the temperament or essence or portrait, which has been the word used by Dr. Hahnemann. The portrait, how that portrait person will live, that is also explained in certain Materia Medica as a personality. And Kant Materia Medica is leading Materia Medica to understand the pathology, which pathology such type of the temperament will suffer. It's like we can prescribe blindly if we know all the 3 categories of the mental symptoms and we can find out a similima. So temperament, personality, and pathology. I'm trying to explain certain medicines on the basis of that. The first medicine is phosphorus. In the Kant Materia Medica, the pathology has been written that phosphorus patient have a wild thoughts, excitability, keeping him awake at night, violent imaginations, excitability even to ecstasy and clairvoyance, anxiety, gloomy forebodings, fear that something will happen, anxious at twilight, anxious when alone, apprehensiveness, apprehensive during thunderstorm, which bring on many complaints, palpitation, diarrhea, and trembling, fear in the evening, fear of death, fear of strange old faces looking at him from the corner, full of strange, insane imaginations, borderline insanity, inability to sustain a mental effort, fear of apoplexy, apathy or indifference, indifferent to his friends and surroundings, indifferent to his children, answers no questions, takes no notice of his family and thinks about him, answers slowly, thinks sluggishly, seems dazed or in a stupor. Everything looks dark, is weary of life, gloomy and says nothing. Dejected, a most marked case of hypochondriasis. Weeping, sad, hysterical, will uncover the body and exposes his person, violent, loquacious, and delirium. This is the mental pathology where Dr. Kant has not written the name of the disease, but he had tried to explain the mental pathology of a phosphorus person. Now, the symptoms which has been written over here, the phosphorus patient is very emotional, and when the disease starts on the emotional plane, first it starts apprehension. Then also we could not understand that the disease progresses into fear, and then the fear has been progresses into anxiety, and at last it will convert into apathy. So continuous emotion plane, the pathology starts in the phosphorus. Apathy, you just remember Munnabai MBBS, in that the person who has been throwing no emotions at all, and the Sanjay that continuously giving hug to that patient, he is regaining the emotions, and with that he's coming back and is becoming normal. So the pathology in the phosphorus is emotional liver. From apprehension leads to fear, then it goes to anxiety, and then the lastly it's apathy. Now what is phosphorus? What is phosphorus temperament? Phosphorus temperament is like an open box. The phosphorus person will not have any, phosphorus person don't have any boundaries. Phosphorus person will don't have any boundaries, lack of boundaries. Lack of boundaries means what? Lack of boundaries means there is no ego identity. Now see, when the baby borns on the very first day, we are confused. Now this baby is looking like a mother, this baby is looking like a father, this baby is looking like her grandmother, nanny. So on the first day we are confused. As the baby grows, means within a 1 week, within a 1 month, it's clear that she looks or he looks like a father, she looks like a mother, she looks like a nanny. So every day there is an ego identity, means opinions and beliefs. Due to that, we prepare a certain boundaries. Now that certain boundaries has been continued, and that has been developed as a fixed identity of a person. So intellectual is a layer by which we filter our emotions, we filter every emotions, that this emotion suits our temperament, this emotions is helpful to me. So filtration has been done in each and every person with the intellectual layer. It's like an ego identity. Ego identity means there are certain opinion and belief. Someone comes and asks, why do you like grapes most? We say it's my hope. I like grapes. Why? But I like grapes. There is no reason. But I like grapes too much. So that is an ego identity. Means each and every person develops ego identity with a strong intellectual layer. Kant has explained very nicely in one Materia Medica that there is will, intellect, and emotions. Whatever the emotions enters in our body, that is known as from the surroundings. The emotions reaction has been negative as well as positive. If negative emotions has been increased, the person is going towards a disease. But emotions has been filtered. Suppose I just give an example that you have a boyfriend, and that boyfriend is coming at your home for the very first time, and you have not told it to your parents, then you will just not show the expressions. You will hide the expressions. Now, how you can hide the expressions? Your intellect helps you to hide your expressions. If there is no filter, then immediately the expressions comes on the face. I just want to share one example more. Yesterday, the Kapil Sharma show, and the Kapil Sharma show, there was an Amir Khan. Amir Khan just says that one of my director don't have any filter layer. How he can show any expression immediately. If I do something wrong, he will immediately says, no, 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 it's wrong. He don't have any filter layer that he should say very nicely. And if I do very nicely, immediately the expressions comes on the face and he becomes too happy. Very good, very good, very good. So each and every expressions you can read on the phosphorus person. Phosphorus is don't having an intellectual layer. So that's why it has been open box. Whatever the emotion comes, he will immediately express. There is no retain. He could not hide or he could not keep anything inside. Instead of that, Netramure is also emotional remedy, but every day the emotions has been catch inside the heart. She is gathering one sorrow, two sorrow, three sorrow, four sorrow. So she is gathering in her heart. But phosphorus, today's sorrow, it has been taken. Tomorrow morning, it is out. Another sorrow. So you don't have a capacity to retain. It's like an open box. No boundaries at all. So whatever thing is happening, any emotions gives too much reactions. Happiness emotion gives too much happiness. Sadness emotion gives too much sadness. He don't have any filter. He can cry with any person. He can laugh with any person. He don't have any identity that this is my best friend, so I can cry with my best friend. This is my little bit, it's not my best friend. So whatever the thing is happening with him, I don't want to cry. No, no filter. Emotions expressed, very much emotions has been expressed. So sensitivity in our expressions has been increased in a phosphorus. So the personality of the phosphorus, he is it's like a means he's like a gullible. Gullible means what? Anyone can he can keep trust on anyone. If you want to cheat the phosphorus person, it's very easy. You can cheat. You can explain very nicely to the phosphorus person, and phosphorus can easily comes to with you, and he will listen to you, and he will say, okay, okay, okay. They are very innocent. The eyes, I can see, just show you. The personality of the phosphorus is like a childlike quality, very, very much emotional. See, childlike quality means, suppose you say the baby that, beta, I'm giving you a chocolate, don't tell to anyone. Then also that baby will go to his father and he will say, that uncle has given me chocolate. But he says, don't tell that I have eaten the chocolate. So that is, he's not filtering whether I should say or whether I should not say. Same quality is in the phosphorus. They express with the more sensitivity, and they have a personality, they have a childlike quality, unconditional, unflowing love. It is a single medicine in our materia medica in this corrupted world. uncorrupt person is phosphorus. He is very irresponsible. Irresponsibility in a which way? In a commitment. Which type of the commitment? Documents. Concerns regarding a documents. Signing. Anyone comes and says, you just sign over here. It's I'm doing good for you. Phosphorus person will easily sign over it. Phosphorus person can feel. Suppose if any slum area is passing, he can feel the sadness of the slum area. He can enjoy the morning, the sun rays. He can enjoy the moon. So each and every sensitivity, open-mindedness. Instead of open-mindedness, the word has been used lack of boundaries. Another medicine which is open-mindedness, that is Moxol, and second is an argentum nitricum. Moxol and the phosphorus, these are the two remedies which can grasp the identity of an others. Same to say, you can see that phosphorus and the Moxol can absorb the same as others because they don't have their own ego identity. They are very playful person. Playful person in a which way? Example is a nurse, which when she comes, it feels like a fresh air is inside the hospital because they are very sensitive. They can understand the pain. Sometimes the phosphorus can have a pain if other person in the hospital is having a pain. So that much they are sensitive, that much they're having a childlike quality, innocency as a personality. So these are the two symptoms of the phosphorus, lack of boundary. Now, lack of boundary, not retaining the emotions, no intellectual filter layer, reacting to the anything leads to the mental pathology, that is fear, anxiety, apprehension, and in the last stage, indifferent state and apathy. Now the next medicine is aurum mat. Before I start aurum mat temperament, I just go to the pathology. The aurum mat pathology, one of the fundamental law, which is law of living, of self-protection, is perverted, and Lord's life is weary of life, longs to die, and seeks method to the commit suicide. No love of life. Now see, students, it's very easy to say no love of a life, but it's not possible. Aurum mat is a leading remedy for major depressive disorder. When the serotonin, the neurotransmitters, which has been affected, and serotonin hormone and non-epinephrine hormone, which has been affected, and that affects and that produce major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder. For such type of the mental pathology, aurum mat is a medicine. So patient will not come and say, I have a suicidal thoughts and I want to do the suicide. It's a disease. So whatever the mental pathology, insanity runs through the remedy, but in an insanity that begins in the will and proceeds to the intellect, first observed as a perversion of the affections. It is astounding that one could get into such a state of a mind, such horrible depression of the spirits, that there is an absolute loss of enjoyment in everything. You take away man's hope and he has nothing to live for. He then wants to die. Such it seems in the state in the medicine. Self-condemnation, continual self-reproach, self-criticism, a constant looking into self. She does nothing right. Everything is wrong. Nothing will succeed. Hopelessness. Imagines he cannot succeed in anything and he does everything wrong. He is in a disunion with himself. Imagines he sees obstacles in his way everywhere. He imagines that he deserves a reproach in the consequence of having neglected duty. He has neglected duty. The thought very becomes uncontrollable. He is absorbed in himself and seeds and brooding over. He looks on the dark side of everything, constantly expecting bad news, looking for everything wrong. The future looks dark to him, and he wants to die. He never succeeds. His business is dark, his family troubles him, his friends annoy him. He becomes extremely irritable, easily angered. Every little thing rouses him into anger and turmoil, melancholy, hateful, quarrelsome. The cause of this state of the insanity are prolonged anxiety, unusual responsibility, loss of property. So this is the words which has been explained by Dr. Kent in a Materia Medica. All are the symptoms of the bipolar disorder and the major depressive disorder. So Aurum Mat is a leading remedy for major depressive disorder according to the mental pathology which has been explained by Dr. Kent. Now, which type of the temperament? Aurum will have. Now, the temperament of the Aurum Mat is unloved feeling. In the Materia Medica, there are three leading remedies for the unloved by the parents. The first is Ignatia, second is Natramure, and third medicine is Aurum Mat. These are the three leading remedies where they are emotionally vulnerable. Natramure and Aurum Mat are more emotionally vulnerable. The difference is Natramure always starts with the unloved feeling, very much vulnerable emotionally. Vulnerable means too much, too hurt. Any little thing produces hurt, that is known as a vulnerable. But Natramure ends with a depression, and Aurum Mat goes to the major depressive disorder. Natramure is not a medicine for the bipolar disorder. Aurum Mat is not a medicine for the initial stage of a depression, but it is a medicine for the major depressive disorder. Emotionally vulnerable, unloved feeling from the very beginning of a life, they feel that the parents, they have not got the enough love from the parents. Now see, here they have parents. The parents are loving to them, but this is the feeling from the very beginning of a life that they are unloved. As they grow on, Aurum Mat belong to the metal group. Aurum Mat as a personality always works hard and always stood first. They feel that the love which I want from my parents, I can only perceive if I've got the first rank. Whenever they get the first, when they stood first, and the parent says, wow, you stood first, very nice, and they just give a hug. So they want that type of the love. They want hug. They want love from the parents. For that, they always do success in his life. So success is not for the he wants to become a successful person, but success gives love to the Aurum Mat emotions. So it is a leading remedy for the emotional personality. So the first is he becomes workaholic. He is very studious. He always stood first in his life, and he becomes a workaholic. Highly responsible person. The Aurum Mat is. He always completes its responsibility. Not a single word, single criticism affects. Suppose if he had 99% in an examination, he stood first. But if anyone says that you have done little hard work, then you get 100 out of 100. That affects him. So such a small things, slight criticism, sensitive to criticism. The two leading remedies for sensitive to criticism is one is Aurum Mat and second is carcinosin. Carcinosin is, but the difference is Aurum Mat is also sensitive to criticism. Carcinosin is also sensitive to criticism, but carcinosin becomes more and more organized. In the personality of the carcinosin, Because she is sensitive to the criticism, she is becoming more and more organized, perfectionist planning. Whatever the work she wants to do, she can work before 1 month and she will plan each and every day, so that such a organized and perfectionist. So that's why no one can criticize her. But instead of that, Aurum Mat is not an organized person, but Aurum Mat uses its intelligence and always leads towards a success. He starts with the manager and he does very good job, good business, and one day he becomes a CEO of a company. So always he is like a rising star, or a mat is like a rising star, and this way he lives as a personality to just satisfy his emotions. By a success, he feels that my emotions has been taken care, and the love which he wants he can get only and only if he will run with the emotions. So that was a temperament which he lives, that is workaholic. But at the end, whenever he had disappointment in a love, the way he is workaholic, if any sensitivity of the criticism will be there in a life, disappointment of the love will be there, that is the time he will go towards a worthlessness, self-disgust, worthlessness, suicidal thoughts. That is the end of the Aurum Mat, and that is major depressive disorder. Third important medicine is Staphysagrija. Now, as we know that Steffi has a leading pathology that they cannot tolerate insult. We every students know that Staphysagrija is a medicine for cannot tolerate insult. Any mortification is there, and Steffi is always there to feel the insult, and she will produce a disease because of the insult. The three leading remedy for not tolerating insult is, one is Aurum Mur netronate, Aurum Mur cannot tolerate the humiliation or the mortification. Second is Colocynth and Staphysagrija. As we know that cannot tolerate insult is also causticum. But Steffi and the causticum, both the patient temperament and personality is totally different. Causticum will fight for the world. Steffi will never fight for the world. If anyone is suffering in the office and they will have an insult from the boss, then the causticum will be the person who will fight for that. But Steffi will not fight for the each and everyone. So the Staphysagrija is a medicine for cannot tolerate insult. And first we read the pathology which belongs to Kent Materia Medica. The pathology which is written in the Kant Materia Medica is suitable in cases where complaints come from pent-up wrath, suppressed emotions, anger, suppressed feelings. The person becomes speechless from the suppressed indignation, anger with indignation, complaints brought on, irritable bladder. Many days after suppressed wrath, after insults. So see, when I'm running fast, this is the way it is the Kant pathology. Great indignation about things done by others or by himself. A gentleman comes in a contact with the one beneath his station, and an alteration takes place, an argument which ends in an insult, and the gentleman turn his back on the other. So the pathology, indifferent, low-spirited, dullness of a mind, when he has to control himself, goes all to pieces, trembles from that, and loses his voice, ability to work, cannot sleep, and a headache follows. So Staphysagrija is a medicine where she cannot tolerate insult, but whatever the insult she get, the reaction of an insult is an anger, and she has to suppress her anger, and that produces a disease. Whatever the situation, the best example, another which I would like to show you, suppose you are driving a car and you are going and someone very fastly touches your car and goes ahead. Now Steffi can see that I am on a right track. I have not speeded my car. My speed is normal, 60. The speed is normal. I am going on a right track. That person have a fault. I should say something to that person that, see, look, you have done wrong with me. Instead of that, that person opens the window and laugh on the staffy. So she feels insult. She feels insult for what? That I should fight with that person. She had anger, subdued wrath for what? That why I am not speaking any a single word to a person who had insulted me, who had done insult with me. She is not able to speak, and that produces anger. Anger is not that someone has done wrong. No, I should say that person that you are doing wrong, but she's not able to say. That produces an anger, and she has to subdue it. That she swallows the anger, and that producing severe trembling. So the trembling associated with the anger, we have only two leading remedies. One is Steffi and second is monk salt. So why Steffi is trembling? Because she had swallowed anger that why I am incapable. Second example, suppose a person is standing in a queue. She is standing very nicely in a proper manner. Half an hour has passed and one man comes and goes ahead. She can feel. She just want to say that person that, see, you are doing wrong. Don't come inside the line. But she could not. That produces anger, and that has been buried inside, and that is the reason to start pathology on the mental plane, that is indifferent apathy in a Steffi. But what is temperament? What is the temperament of a Steffi? Steffi is full of emotions, a live person, and the eyes of the Steffi person is very, 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 very sweet. She is such a sweet female with the full of emotions, alive emotions. Full of emotions means what? See, sometimes you have seen that your mother can read your expressions. You are not feeling well and you are mimicking that you are very happy. And when you enter the house, your mother will immediately say, "Oh, something is wrong, beta, today with you." You say, "No, no, no, mama, everything is fine." No, I can understand because she loves you. There are full of emotions in your mother. She can recognize the feelings. So Steffi is sweet, always likes to help everyone, always throw the emotions, which is very alive, full of emotions. She lives with the emotions, full of emotions, and emotions, the full of emotions you can see in the eyes of a Steffi. So in such a lady, if anything happens like an insult, she produces anger, and that is the reaction, and she will produce a disease. So the pathology in different inner stephysagria is, see, as we everyone know, it is out of mental pathology, but Steffi is an honeymoon cystitis. It is a medicine for the honeymoon cystitis because first time when she does an intercourse, there is a full of emotions. The blood is collecting over there. There is full of congestion, and because of their emotions, she will start cystitis after the first time of an intercourse. So full of emotions is a temperament of a Steffi, lives with the suppressed worth, suppressed alteraction, suppressed anger, which starts the disease pathophysiology on the emotional plane, that is Steffi. Madurinum. As we know, the pathology of the Madurinum is, we know that he forgets, forgetful of the facts, figures, names, what he has read, makes mistakes in writing, spelling, time moves too slowly, everybody moves too slowly, he's in a constant hurry, and he gets out of a breath, confusion of a mind, dazed, great difficulty in stating her symptoms, changeable state of a mind, one moment sad, the next is mirthful, presentiment of a death, frightened sensation on awaking, as if something dreadful had happened, fear of a dark, anxiety about her salvation. Now, Madurinum is a leading remedy for initial stage of an Alzheimer. Initial stage means the first stage of an Alzheimer, first stage of a dementia. So, see, all this is the mental pathology of the dementia and the Alzheimer. Alzheimer patient will initially starts with the names, forgetful of the names. He could not find out the right word. So that is the leading remedy for that is a Madurinum. Now, which type of the person will be the Madu? Now, see, Madurinum and the Thuja. These are the two leading remedies, as we know that they are the leading remedy for the psychotic. Next medicine I have taken, that is Thuja. But I just show you in a Madurinum, there is a difference in a sexuality. Along with the passionate, Madurinum temperament is the person is very, very passionate. They are dedicated to their work. Whatever the work they will do with the passion. If they are doing gardening, they will do 6 to 7, 8 hours with the gardening. They have each and every knowledge of the gardening. They will know each and every plants. They can explain you the plants. If they are working in a sanctuary, then they are knowing everything about the animals, about the birds. If they are a doctor, they are very much dedicated as a doctor profession. If they are teacher, they are dedicated teacher. So very, very passionate. The temperament of the Madurinum is they are very passionate person. They are emotionally sensitive, but along with that, they are passionate. So the personality of the Madurinum is they are all-rounder and they are very adventurous. They love to do any activity, they will do with the passion. If they are going towards adventurous activity, they will do passionately adventurous activity. If they means they have a hunger for the different experiences, this all are the personality for the word for the passion. So passionate is a temperament in a Madurinum. Along with the passionate, there is in sexuality. We have two leading remedies for that. One is Lechesis and second is a Madurinum. Both have a temperament, passionate and sexuality. But the Lechesis person have a sexuality and there the pathology starts because of the suppressed sexuality. They don't want to change the partners in the Lechesis, but they express the sexuality very fast way. Means in a like they don't want to change the partners. But Madurinum, when the Madurinum loves to someone, they are passionately attached to the lover. They can have a relationship for the 3 years, for the 4 years. But as soon as passion towards that girl and passion towards that ends, immediately they throw away. Instead of that, Thuja is such a passionate in the sexuality that Thuja always wants to change the partners. They don't want to, they are not passionately attached with the girl. They don't even look at the face of that girl. They don't know even the name of that girl. They just want a sexual activity with that girl. And that is sexuality of the Thuja. But Madurinum always have a passion to that girl, and that is associated with the sexuality. So Madurinum passionate makes a person adventurous. Passionate makes a person have a hunger for the different experience plus sexuality, that is Mado. So Mado temperament as well as pathology, it's a leading remedy for the first stage of an Alzheimer and first stage of a dementia. I'm saying first stage because Alzheimer is an incurable once the disease has been advanced. When the word comes Alzheimer, the second leading remedy for the Alzheimer is alumina. Alumina is a leading remedy for the first stage of an Alzheimer, but alumina is always having confusion. She had a confused, and confusion in a which way? Suppose 10% is coming in a home, she will cook for 50%, and sometimes she cooks too much rice and little means vegetables. So proportions towards the thought process will be not there, confusion will be there. With the difficulty she exerts herself to explain, that is alumina. Next remedy is thuja. The thuja pathology, we know that in a Kent Materia Medica, it has been explained fixed ideas. Thuja person is having fixed ideas, sensation as if the baby is inside the body. The baby is inside the abdomen. So all this is are the fixicity, which is the pathology in a thuja. The person will not have a fixed ideas, but as he goes towards a paranoid disease, a paranoid ideas, obsessive compulsive disorder, at that time he becomes the brain, some part of the brain becomes like a stone, it has been stuck, and that fixity, the patient is not able to remove those fixed ideas, continuously persist that fixed ideas. That is a pathology which has been produced in the thuja. But the temperament of the thuja is, thuja person is very secretive, very secretive and a closed person. And the personality which leaves the thuja person is manipulative. You could not open up the thuja. Thuja will always check you whether you are understanding me or not. Thuja is a person who will never say anything right when you are doing a case taking. He's a very sneaky person. Sneaky means not trustworthy. So Thuja person is very secretive. He will not open up, keeps so many things inside, because the pathophysiology in a Thuja, it starts from the causative factor, that is sexual abuse. So someone has abused a girl or someone has abused a boy, he will not open up very easily, and that abused has been gulped inside, and one day that abused produce a continuous guilt, and that guilt leads to obsessive compulsive disorder, that is in fixed ideas. So fixed ideas, paranoid thoughts, all are the and pathophysiology in the thuja. And the temperament is the person is very secretive, very closed, indisposed to talk, sneaky, manipulative. Manipulative word is for the personality. So here I tried certain medicines with the temperament and their personality and the pathology. In every day, the time is less. I have come with the case, but I just want to like to explain the case very fastly. Recently, a patient has suffered from a malignant urticaria. I just show you the picture. He had throughout the body, I don't know you can see this or not. See, throughout the body, he had such type of the malignant urticaria. This is the front part only. He had on the front part, on the back, everywhere, the malignant urticaria. When the case has been taken, I'm just showing you in the mental picture that how we reach to the medicine. He was a person, as a temperament, he was very angry person, and he has to always subdue his anger. But along with the subdue of anger, he has to hold his anger. And initial stage, he was reacting with his anger. He was very violent. Anger, which is associated with the violence. Now see, anger associated with the violence, our leading remedy is stramonium. Stramonium is a medicine where his anger is always associated with the violence. But here, because he has started with the malignant urticaria due to subdued of an anger, one person was irritating him, one person was very abusive. But he was not doing any reaction because he had a fear that I will do something, I will kill that person, and because I kill that person, I have to go to jail for some years, and I have a daughter, so I should not do anything. And he has to gulp his anger very much. He says that I want to do something, but I'm restraining myself. And then suddenly, throughout the body, a severe malignant urticaria has been started. On the basis of that, we have prescribed anacardium 1M, and the patient was completely out within a 1 week. All the urticaria, and she's completely fine. So this is the way I try that you, wherever the case comes, you have to understand the case, the mental picture. You have to filter that mental picture in a 3-part: temperament, personality, and pathology. Never prescribe on the pathology. Whatever the patient will always comes with the personality. Read that personality, understand that personality, and reach to the temperament. And on the basis of the temperament, you should prescribe mental picture. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes, Professor Sridhar, it's really an excellent session. You covered all those remedies in a beautiful way, and we were able to differentiate all those medicine because of the classical difference in the temperament as well as the mental nature. Definitely, study of temperament, connecting the temperament with the psychology as well as the uh, uh, totality of the case, that is a rare, peculiar, and common characteristic nature of the patient, will definitely yield the right remedy, and definitely you can win over the case. That is what you have shown in the last case with the prescription of anacardium. Also, one may be find it difficulty whether it is I should go with the stramonium as the remedy or something like that, but the correct differentiation really made the case successful with that single dose of the medicine. Anyway, it is a time for discussion, even though we have only shorter time. I invite Sridhar Kulvisar to say something on that presentation. Yes, sir. You're muted. You can.
Yes, yes, whether it is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it is a very nice presentation, very good, excellent. Come again with such a wonderful session again. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now I invite Dr. Sarvi from Turkey to say a few words of this presentation.
Good evening. Thank you so much. It is a wonderful session. And the canteen method is very wonderful. Explain your all of your 3 or more case. And I am very happy to hear a lot of most things. I will, we will make another session maybe. And thank you so much. And thank you all of attendance and IFPH. Thank you so much.
Yes, and now I invite Dr. Shaji Kudiyat, our Vice President, is here. I was listening this all of the presentation, and Doctor, you can say. Shaji Kudiyat, Doctor, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So not responding. So before going to Bob Lim, we will have a short chat with Dr. Ram Prakash.
Thank you, Dr. Dhanesh ji, and congratulations, Dr. SHITAL SHAH.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very nice presentation. Excellent session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Excellent session. Beautiful describe temperament and personality pathology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very kinds of medicine, medorinum, aurum metallicum, and stramonium thuja would describe personality and temperament. Very thanks.
Thank you.
And now I invite Dr. Bobley from Malaysia to say, you can have a chat with Dr. Shital, and then you can say vote of thanks to the session also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Shah. You have very good, refreshing insight into Ken repertory based on the and pathology of the medicine. I think it is very refreshing webinar. That you will be giving another session tomorrow, is it? On Tuesday?
No, sir. No, it's by mistake. It's by mistake the 30th. It's only today. It's only today.
Hear from you more. Case taking approach on and on behalf of the IFPH, I would like to say a very big thank you to Dr. SHITAL SHAH for successfully conducting this 1,337 daily webinar tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you again. We'd like to hear from you in the near future.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Tomorrow we will have a session from Dr. Suraj Singh Beradia. And anyway, thank you, Dr. Shital, and those who attended the session in this evening to have a beautiful presentation from Dr. Shital Shah. And hope all of you will be there with us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night.